Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to Vibe Nation. Today we're here to watch another video. Today we are about to educate ourselves. Yes, apparently so. Today we're here to watch from Hood Nature. 15 minutes of purely educational bird slander featuring Kevin and the baby. I don't know if it's the actual the baby, but we'll see as this video goes on. Yeah, if you want to watch the original video, please, the link's in the description down below. I would really like to see like what educational bird slander sound looks like. So let's go in 3, 2, 1.
10 reasons why this bird is a threat to my mental health. Number 1, they clap crocodiles for fun and they do not apologize for it. And like a true predator, they prefer to go after the minors. That's not.
Gosh, that is ugly. Ugh. It's like evolution didn't catch up with it yet.
Not even the craziest thing they eat, but we'll get back to that. Number 2, the shoebill stork puts its prey on a shirt by decapitating it, assaulting it with that blunt force beak until it divorces its head from its body. It's as bad as you think. Number 3, there are unconfirmed reports of the shoebill stork eating a baby lechwe. For reference, this is what a lechwe is. How in the 4, they're 5 feet tall with an 8-foot wingspan. That's longer than LeBron's. Number 5, the shoebill stork isn't even a stork. It's part of the pelicaniform family, making this demonic animatronic related to pelicans. All of a sudden, this makes a lot of sense. It must be a family thing. And at 6 is the chicks, because shoebill stork chicks will actively try to take their siblings off the census, with the strongest one beating and bludgeoning the younger one. If the abused brother doesn't die from getting his skull bashed in, he'll expire to starvation because his mother won't even acknowledge his existence. Number 7, this helican has
Black Air Force activity at birth. My.
a lifespan of 36 years, and that's just too long looking like that. Number 8, they don't make a lot of noise, but when they do, a war veteran gets PTSD. Number 9, when they get too hot, they'll shit all over their legs repeatedly throughout the day just to stay cool. And reason number 10, they're best friends with hippos, and I just don't with that. It's because when hippos go skinny dipping, they force fish to the surface, which a shoebill stork eats. But any bird that's buddy-buddy with a water bundy is no friend of mine.
Edgy boy.
Okay, so I have one more thing about this thing that I think you should know. I can't explain why, but not only are they harmless to humans, they're actually friendly. This 5-foot head-snatching roid pigeon is calm around humans and it'll even let you approach their nest without becoming aggressive, which actually makes them one of the most popular birds for bird watchers in Africa. This is Sushi. Sushi looks like a hippogriff come to life, but he'll let anyone pet him as long as they bow to him first. If you don't, he'll fly to the other end of his enclosure. But if you bow, Sushi will accept your presence and allow you to pet him. And even though they look like Jurassic rejects, shoebill storks will bond with their human caretakers and will even walk over to them to greet them. Which actually says a lot because they're nearly endangered with about 5,000 of them left in the world because we insist on destroying their hood. So yeah, shoebill storks are not that bad. Now this is another story. Yeah, no intro for this bird. Not only can this demon with wings have a 12-foot wingspan, the marabou stork can be up to 5 feet tall, meaning they can look a good percentage of the population in the eye. And if one does, you'll quickly find out they have no soul or goodwill behind those pupils. They eat everything. Like, literally everything. Technically, they're scavengers that eat the dead, which is why they're nicknamed the Undertaker. But best believe they'll snatch up anything that moves, including other birds, lizards, small mammals, and human children. Don't worry, we will get back to that. They be doing flamingos dirty. The reason they're bald is because they go neck deep inside rotting corpses. Also, this flying garbage disposal will feed on feces. That means poop. Their legs are white because they leak liquid ass all over them so that when it dries, it cools them off. But the marabou stork's favorite place to find food is in our garbage, which means 2 things. 1, this dumpster's Tweety actually likes being around humans. And 2, they are not afraid of us. And because marabou storks are highly aggressive and territorial, according to urban legend, there are some children that got put in a box because they got too close to them. Instead of delivering babies, this stork returns them. With a beak like that, I believe it. I'm a grown man, but if I ever walked into a bathroom and had a 5-foot testicle with wings looking back at me, I suddenly wouldn't need to use it. Also, that throat scrote is a guller pouch. It's used to make noise to help attract a mate so this Satan turkey can make more of itself. Moral of this video, the marabou stork is an Avengers level threat to my mental health and a feathery antichrist whose vibe I will never f with. We need to talk about how disrespectful this bird is. This is a secretary bird and they kill prey by kicking them in the head until they
Why does bird really look like a secretary though? Like, oh Janet, can you please go ahead and book me for my 5 o'clock appointment? Like,
tap out or flatline. They especially violate snakes. They'll river dance on the snake's head until its skull caves in, and the secretary bird can kick with a force 5 times its own body weight. That's like the average man Ronaldoing someone with 900 pounds of force. Their kick is so powerful that they can actually shatter the bones in your hand. Also, they're like 4 feet tall. The secretary bird will stomp around vegetation and bushes just so they can skull snatch anything that tries to escape. They'll also purposely wait around bushfires so.
But it's pretty though. It's so pretty though. Like I didn't even, like, when you look at a bird, you don't really think about it, but yo, this is actually somewhat pretty. Almost near human-like. I don't like it.
That if any small animal tries to run for its life, this bird will take it from it anyway by curb stomping them. And they can wig split their ops in 15 milliseconds, meaning in the time it takes for you to blink, they can strike multiple times. And like I said, they're 100% on site with snakes because they'll smash their heads in until they're either paralyzed or dead and then proceed to eat them. Also, this raptor can fly. Because of course they can. And they do all this while looking like a recently divorced velociraptor that got out of pocket with the child support. This is not a bird, it's Jurassic Park in yoga pants. With a thigh gap, y'all could never. Next time someone tells you dinosaurs went extinct, just remember this African homicide chicken tap dances on the graves of snakes. And anyone else that tries to test it. Never wanted to make a video like this because I always try to be unproblematic and I stay away from the whole TikTok drama thing, but unfortunately this creator went too far. Because I was having a good day and then she sent me this. I have not known peace ever since I've seen this, and I'm gonna make it your problem. That is a uropygeal gland. Most birds have it, and it's basically an oil dispenser. The same way you rub Vaseline on your chapped ass lips, the bird will rub the gland and then spread the oils on its feathers to maintain and waterproof them. And of course there's this nonsense right here. Toucans have really thin, stretchy skin to the point where it's translucent when stretched out, and at some points you can even see muscles, tendons, and bones. I still hate it. And then there's the eyes. Toucans have an extra eye membrane that serves as an inner shield. Basically, it's foreskin for their eyeballs. And for those of you that think toucans are parrots, they're actually woodpeckers on steroids. I'm not even kidding. Toucans are part of the Ramphastidae family, and one of their closest relatives are woodpeckers. Which means this is accurate. And I don't know what this is, but I'm not going to be the one to explain it. And I'm not letting y'all forget what their tongues look like. And even though their tongues don't wrap around their brains like woodpeckers, knowing that it has that for a tongue still makes me itch. That tongue is basically to shove their victims back into their mouth. And another thing, yes, toucans do eat mostly fruit, but they're not vegans. They'll also murk baby birds, bats, frogs, and honestly anything else that can fit down their throat. The greatest trick Fruit Loops ever pulled was convincing me that toucans were just innocent little hippie parrots. At least the babies are cute. Hoping somebody would ask. So yeah, woodpecker tongues wrap around their skulls and go out their mouth like a up fruit roll-up. But like every questionable thing in nature, there's a reason for this. A lot of woodpeckers eat mostly ants and larvae, and they use that bill to drill through the wood and that long elastigirl tongue to snatch them up. It's like chameleons, but with more feathers. Woodpeckers have been around for 25 million years, but since chameleons have been doing this for 60, it's clear who stole from who. And since the green woodpecker has one of the longest tongues for any bird, 10 centimeters for a 30 centimeter body, they have to wrap it around to the back of their head when they're not using it. Now this part isn't 100% confirmed, but a lot of scientists believe the tongue also cushions the brain to absorb the shock of them high-fiving trees with their head for a living. Aren't you glad you follow me? There's a dinosaur problem that not enough people...
I don't know, honestly. like I don't follow you, but then again, I don't know, because it's like I'm seeing a lot and learning a lot, but what I see, I don't like to see. it's like low level horrifying, honestly.
People are talking about. Rat-tites are a group of birds that in the game of life chose fight instead of flight. This group includes the biggest birds in the world like ostriches, emus, this blue bastard, and the kiwi. Yeah, I don't really know why he's here either. But most people don't realize there's a fifth member, and that's this South American ostrich, also known as the Rhea. They're usually 4 feet tall, but the biggest ones can be nearly 6 feet. Rheas can run you down at 35 miles per hour and split your chest open with one claw kick. And they have a nasty habit of going for the eyes. And thanks to the generational trauma of foxes and coyotes, they are incredibly racist to dogs. In Rhea society, it's actually the dad that stays and raises the chicks while the mother goes and gives it up to as many dudes as possible. Mans gets no child support because he is the child support. Hey, remember that time ostrich took an L to an army of emus? Of course you do, because we'll never let Australia forget it. Welp, Rheas are officially the emus of England since there's about 1,000 of them. Also, 7 Rheas escaped the farm in Germany and multiplied to 600. If Europe ever goes to war against this Latin roid turkey, I called it. Rheas can jump 6 feet in the air and they have claws that can disembowel a human, which is why it's Jurassic Park every time one escapes. Which is often. To be fair, they're not as dangerous as ostriches or cassowaries, and Rheas would rather run away from their problems. It'd be like that. But the Rhea can have a nasty temper, especially during breeding season. But hey, don't take my word for it, just ask Kevin.
Kevin, hey, you want to say anything to Mamadou's TikTok? Sir? Oh. Kevin, hey, do you want to say anything to Mamadou's TikTok? Whoa, is that the baby?
Aliens exist. We just call them owls. Here's 10 reasons why they're way too weird to have come from Earth. Number 1, their ears are see-through and you can literally look at an owl's eyeball from its ear opening. I'd call them the windows to the soul, but you're gonna find out owls don't have one. Number 2, and let's just get this out of the way, this is what owls are hiding under those feathers. Sometimes I think science is too much about what we can know and not enough about what we should know.
See, this is exactly why I'm like I'm learning a lot, but I'm not liking what I see.
Number 3, you probably know that owls can imitate the exorcist by turning their heads 270 degrees, but they only do it because technically owls don't have eyeballs. Not like deadass, instead they have tubes that don't move, which is why they have to look possessed just to look behind them. Number 4, some owls like the great horned owl will catch prey and decapitate them by the time they get to their nest. You can't tell me that ain't some Invader Zim type shit. If you ever see a squirrel or rabbit that's literally lost its mind, you know exactly whose rap sheet to put it on. And they won't stop there, this owl snatched the hawk's headpiece for no reason at all. Number 5, owls are birds from the strigiform order, and there's about 250 flavors of these flying psychopaths, and you can find them almost everywhere. You got the Eurasian eagle owl, snowy owl, the African Varroa owl, and the Australian masked owl. But by far the meanest one of all is the great horned owl. If you know, you know. Number 6, owls have feathers that can absorb noise, and since God gave them night vision, they can snatch souls and lighten the senses without ever making a single sound. But number 7, when they do decide to speak up, they put someone in therapy. Number 8, they're
Oh my gosh, that's horrifying.
racist to other birds. The very symbol of our country often gets bullied by owls, and they hate crows on a generational level. If a crow breeds, an owl will take it personally and put an end to it. Number 9, owls swallow their prey whole.
Like they always say, the crow, like, what was that noise that they make? Like, they, I guess they crow. Like, I can only imagine crows, owl, and I took offense to that. And I personally took offense to that. Or I took that personally. Like, I like, just, what?
No bever, nothing. And then vomit the parts they can't eat like bones, teeth, and fur into this little pellet package. And for some reason schools had children dissected. Like, what the was that even about? And to end on a wholesome note.
Yeah, I had to do that. I had to do that as well.
Baby owls sleep on their stomachs because these feathery Jimmy Neutrons have heads that are just too heavy. Google sleeping baby owls and then thank me for the free serotonin.
Low key, I was hoping that he was gonna talk about the Harpy eagle. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's a badass looking bird.
Yeah, this isn't Photoshop. That's a Harpy eagle, and yes, you should be afraid of him. And there's 2 reasons why this is an Avengers level threat to the jungle. Number 1, they have massive claws, and scientists have compared the talent strength of the Harpy eagle to the jaws of a Rottweiler. And since the Harpy eagle has claws bigger than that of a grizzly bear, they could barbershop grip a human head. And reason number 2, nature did something incredibly out of pocket with them. Because unlike most other eagles, Harpy eagles have relatively short wings for their size, meaning they could bob and weave through the branches of the jungle. Which also means this is the only eagle where hiding in the trees means nothing. You would still get worked, murked, and put on a shirt. Because of this, Harpy eagles will make a victim out of monkeys, sloths, opossums, iguanas, and they'll even friendly fire other birds like macaws. This flying paralysis demon is found from Mexico through Central America all the way down South America to Argentina. But don't worry, its shadow clone is a crowned eagle and can be found terrorizing Southern Africa. I forgot to mention they can carry animals heavier than they are.
Look at how if this doesn't just radiate Black Air Force like that, look at this thing. Look. Can you imagine going into the forest and you just look up and you see that looking at you? What's your first instinct to do? Run? I don't think so. I don't think so. You can't run. That face just says there is no escape. Either submit or perish. That's what it says. Submit or perish. That's it. I am the king of this jungle, and I know, and I decide who lives and who dies. So that's what that looks like.
Just know that if you ever hear this sound, your time has come. And even though this hippogriff could probably hole punch a human head, there are no reports of a Harpy eagle ever killing or severely injuring a human. They're only really aggressive if you get too close to their nest, but if you do that and get clapped for it, at that point you just charge it to natural selection and keep it pushing. In fact, because Harpy eagles
so how am I supposed to keep it pushing though? I'm gonna keep it pushing. The man's already gone, bruh.
Zero fear of humans, it actually makes them an easy target for poachers. That, and by gentrifying the jungle and knocking it down, we've destroyed a good amount of their home. So really, they should be afraid of us. Moral of this video, you're looking at one of the most dangerous destructive species in the jungle, and next to it is an eagle. So there's 3 possible reasons why they do this. Number 1, it's how they yawn and stretch. And before someone says it, no, they don't pull their spine out of their mouth. That's actually the gullar pouch being stretched by the neck under it. Number 2, this is how pelicans cool off. Pelicans can't sweat and they don't have AC. Instead, they'll ripple the skin of their throat and pouch to cool off by evaporation, and this is called gullar fluttering. But in extreme cases, it's possible they do whatever the hell this is to expose the blood vessels in their throat to air, which helps them cool off. And reason number 3, pelicans are the brood of Lucifer, and this satanic ritual is how they pledge their allegiance. Honestly, it could be any of these reasons. But tag Hank Green anyway, because this is exactly the kind of nonsense you would know everything about for no reason. This animal proves that evolution is one spiteful bitch. Because ratites, right? They're a group of birds that decided they were too good for flying, so they make it everyone else's problem. You got the African thunder goose, the Jurassic reject, the Australian kryptonite, and the Kiwi. Yeah, the Kiwis.
You made a video about this, about that blue thing, and obviously it shows that you don't like that bird one bit, and I guess I'm gonna have to watch it.
Related to the biggest birds in the world while being the size of a chicken. That's basically having your entire family 6'4", 6'5", and 6'6", but you came out looking like Tory Lanez. Like, you get up from the chair but stay the same height. But nature disrespect them, because even though the Kiwis shrunk, the eggs they have to lay didn't, so even though they're 4 pounds, they still have to push out an egg that's almost as big as an ostrich's. They give birth to an egg 20% of their size. And for the women, imagine being shrunk to 3 feet tall and still having to push out the same size baby. To the point where it stretches its ribcage and rearranges its organs, and yes, it's as bad as it sounds. Somehow, it gets worse. Since the bird named after a fruit pulls up to the same reunion as ostriches and emus, they can't fly. Basically, the Kiwi is a bird that just can't bird, which means they get clapped by the entire census. They can only survive on islands where there are no cats, dogs, or anything else that can turn them into an 8-piece. And of course, they got screwed again when humans brought rats and cats to New Zealand in the same area code as them, and since Kiwis are about as tough as the fruit they're named after, they got stat padded disrespectfully. All this while being related to a bird that literally won a war against people. Moral of this video, Kiwis asked for wings and nature told them to golf and figure it out. Jurassic Park's real, and so is this bird. That is an Andean condor, and it can have a wingspan of just under 11 feet.
Oh my
and it's no
gosh.
cap, a shack and a half. And even though they look like a satanic testicle, they are 100% harmless. They're vultures on steroids that only eat the dead because they don't want smoke with the living. That wasn't a joke, they're a type of New World vulture, and there's 2 types, the Andean and California condor. And this aesthetically challenged turkey proves that love is blind, because this scrotum pigeon mates for life. To shoot his shot, the male condor turns his head red, puffs out his neck feathers, and approaches the female. If she lowers her head at him, it means bro won, and they'll stay together for close to, if not life. They love getting high. Condors vibe at 15,000 feet, and since they have huge wings, they can stay in the air for ridiculous amounts of time without flapping. One condor actually flew for 5 hours, covered over 100 miles, and didn't flap once. And when you live like that, you can live a long time, which is why the California condor can live for up to 80 years, and also why people used to think it was immortal. But they're not. California condors are critically endangered due to most of them getting clapped by poaching, lead poisoning, and habitat loss. So basically us. God gave us thumbs and everyone else has to pay for it. Fun fact, actually really sad fact, Johnny Cash nearly erased the entire condor census after causing a fire that almost wiped them all out. There's about 7,000 Andean condors but only 500 Californians, and if I could trade them for every LA wannabe influencer, I would, and I don't apologize for it. But we have been helping this bird out by raising their chicks. That's actually a puppet head feeding a baby so it doesn't get used to humans. They might be down bad now, but in 1987 there was only 27 of them left. Basically they got cancelled but got their contract renewed, so this dinosaur just might be alright. Okay, so I have good news and bad news. The good news is this bird is not venomous or poisonous.
Okay.
Bad news is with its attitude, it might as well be. Because the masked lapwing is normally shy during the summer and fall, but they turn into demons during breeding season. That's because the lapwing will nest anywhere and anybody that walks near it will get vibe checked. That spur looks like a guaranteed hospital bill, but it isn't for 2 reasons. One, Australia has free healthcare unlike some places.
It has a shank. It has a biological shank in its wing. Wow.
And 2, those spurs are used for intimidation more than anything. Lapwings try to scare off intruders by flying directly at them, but they don't use those spurs in a fade and they definitely don't inject venom with them. But if they did, I wouldn't be surprised because Australia. But this mustard tweety is not innocent because they nest anywhere and everywhere. People often walk near the nest without realizing it, and that's when this bird chooses violence and swoops. And they believe in equality because they'll attack cats, dogs, and even jump ravens. They're less likely to attack humans, but attempts have been made. Sometimes they'll nest at airports and they'll refuse to move for anything including a plane, which can result in the plane getting a free paint job. But everything they do for their family, and they'll even fake a broken wing to distract you from their chicks. You can't be mad at that.
What is a fact or statistic that seems fake but is real?
So like falcons, right? Out of all the raptors like eagles, hawks, and owls, falcon claws are actually smaller and weaker than the others. So instead of grabbing their prey with their talons and murking them that way, falcons like the peregrine will start high up in the air and drop down. I swear this is gonna make sense soon enough. So they
I'm not gonna lie, falcons are actually pretty darn cute in a way. Alright, but that's just me.
turn themselves into missiles that can max out at 240 miles per hour. That's almost 9 Usain Bolts. This falcon derecho will target its victim, but because its claws are weaker than the other raptors, instead they'll ball up their feet, basically making a fist and hitting their prey so hard it folds their spine.
So, why the bird look like it's just like, yes.
Oh yeah, falcon punch is a real ass thing, and it is devastating.
What happened? . Hold up. Hold up a minute. What happened? No, we need to slow that down. Wait a minute. I need some help. Somebody help me.
Last thing, and it is devastating.
Hold on a minute. We're gonna put this at 0.25. What? Like we. Yo, that thing was so fast that the camera barely caught it. I could even see that thing at normal speed. Yo, that is. Lord, let me never be struck by a falcon. Oh my goodness. Like, yo. That was serious. Like, my eyes didn't even register that thing had hit that thing. I didn't even see it. Even slowing it down, it was just basically a blink on the screen. Yo, that's, wow. Okay. Well, yeah, guys, that was Hood Nature. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Vibe Nation, and see you guys in the next one. Links will be down in the description down below. And yeah, peace.